Hi, this is Fred Moreau at Unity Technologies, and in this video, I want to touch on a custom SceneView menu that you've probably saw me use if you watched our recent webinar series touching on Unity Reflect. Now, I want to get back on this menu that allows me to jump to different places in scene like this. And before I get into the technical details, I want to go back to where this is all started. When I had to prep this webinar, I just realized that there was a lot I wanted to touch on. There was a lot I wanted to cover. And to do this in a very short amount of time, then I needed to be able to jump to different places, such as being able to go and focus on different areas as to touch on things like shadows and lighting and materials and things like this. And so at first, I figured that I could craft myself some sort of a presenting tool that would let me enhance my presentation inside of Unity Editor. And then I realized that this was most probably something that you also need as a user, especially when you work on very large scenes. Then you definitely want to be able to go to different places, because although the navigation in the scene view is just amazing, it's very fluid. You can easily just use the different mouse buttons and the scroll wheel, and you can also use some accelerators to go faster and to move up and down and backward and forward and all this. The scene view navigation is pretty awesome, but very often when you work in a project, you want to be able to just go and jump to different scene states and be able to just go to different bookmarks. This is what I want to call them, like SceneView bookmarks, so that you can easily just go back to those different spots. And also, you probably want to be able to save and save the different states that you're on. And so this is what we have in this custom menu that I've got here. So I've hooked it up to control and right click. And so whenever I hit control and right click in the scene view, then I get this menu that allows me to jump to different places. So I've got the ability, for example, to jump to pre-recorded uh, uh, scene bookmarks like this. Then I can also create a new bookmark. So for example, if I wanted to go to a different place, like say I want to go to somewhere around here, like near the stairs, for example, like this. And then I want to save this view so that I can recall this view anytime I want. Then I can just right click and click on bookmark view, and then I can give this a name. The nice thing also about this is that I can use a path. So for example, I could do demo slash stairs like this. And then from now on, I can easily just go to demo stairs. And so I can easily just switch to another view and then get back to this pre-recorded view anytime I want. I've also added a few other views, such as being able to switch to a top view in wireframe mode, or in a front view in wireframe mode, or in a 2D view to switch to UI, and so that you can focus and just work on the UI if you want. And then you can easily just switch back to one of your preset views here. So you can also notice that this not only saves the position and the field of view and the state of the camera, this will also save the shading mode that you have the scene view in. This will save if the view is in 2D. It'll save if you have the lighting on. It'll save the states, such as the skybox and the fog and all this. It'll save if the grid is visible or not. It'll also save the field of view, and also if the gizmos are visible or not. And it will also save, which I think is quite interesting, especially when you want to switch between scene editing and 2D UI editing. Then it will also save the visibility and locked states of the layers. So for example, when I switch to 2D UI, then this will automatically hide everything but the UI objects. and then when I switch back to this view here, then it will automatically have everything displayed but the UI layers. So that allows me to actually work without having the big canvas like being visible in the scene view, which is often annoying. So now with this, then we have also a few other options. So I touched on the different built-in states. You can also save your different bookmarks as you want. Then you can also switch to the position of the different cameras that you find in the scene. If you have Cinemachine installed and if there are virtual cameras in the scene, then you can also easily switch to those different virtual cameras like this. Another thing also that I found, which is nice, because you may notice that by default the scroll wheel of your mouse will actually move the camera forward and backward. It's not going to change the field of view. So you have to actually go in here and change the field of view if you want to change the field of view of your scene view. But now you can also hold the control key and use the screen, the mouse scroll wheel, and then you can change the field of view of the scene view just like that. So that's another nice little thing that I've added to that custom extension. A few other things that I wanted to touch on, also the filters. These are the things that I love about the Unity editor, is that it's very versatile. It's very um, generic, so that you can easily just go and search for anything in there. For example, if I wanted to look for all the LOD groups, then I could easily find all the LOD groups in there. But when there are things like this that you do all the time, then you also want to have the ability to just go and say, hey, show me all the LOD groups that I have in this scene, or show me, let's just reset this and show me all the colliders, for example, or things like that. So this is another quick shortcut that I've added in this right-click menu. A few other options that we have here. One of the things that I do like is also the ability. Let's just go to the parking lot, for example, or let's just go to the main camera. And now let's assume that I want to change the camera just a little bit. So one of the things that I can do is just change my scene view like this. Maybe change the field of view a little bit. And then when I'm happy with that, what I can do is just go and say snap main camera. And so this is going to match the main camera to the scene view. And if the main camera has a Cinemachine brain, then it'll pick the currently assigned camera to the Cinemachine brain, and it's going to adjust the Cinemachine virtual camera. Now, another thing also that you may want to be able to do when you do this is, which is especially interesting when you have something like the post-processing debug, for example, and then you want to be able to change, for example, the depth of field, or to be able to change check the bloom buffer or the bloom threshold, for example, like this. Then you want to be able to just move around and see how this is going to impact your effects in the camera view. So for this, there's actually an option that allows you to just go and log the main camera to the scene view. And so this is actually, this allows me to just go to this camera here, and then I can now just move around. And as you can see, that this is going to sync this virtual camera. It puts the virtual camera in solo mode, and then as I move around the scene view, then this allows me to adjust the this camera by moving the scene view, which is pretty nice, because you actually get the scene view navigation, which is so awesome, to actually manipulate the cameras without having to change the or align the cameras all the time on your scene view. So that's one thing. Let me just go back to the main camera here and to disable the post-process debug like this. So like I said, I can easily just change the field of view like this, and then move this a little bit around. And then now as I switch from a camera to another, then this will also just put this new camera in solo mode, So I can easily just change this camera like this, and this allows me to just switch between all the different CineMachine cameras and to go and edit those CineMachine cameras right using the SceneView navigation. Now, once you've saved all of this, then there's also, I'm just going to unlock the main camera here. Another option that you have here is to show the different bookmarks as GUI labels right in the scene view, so you can easily just go between your different scene views. I guess it's interesting if you're in a project review mode, for example, and then you want to be able to just quickly show the improvements that you can have your created views right in the scene view like this. And another thing that I want to touch on is the bookmarks editor. Because once you've created your bookmarks, then one of the things that you can do is then just get in this editor to update the bookmarks that you've created. So basically, you can change the name. You can also change the overrides, because a bookmark is can by default will override everything. It's going to override the position, the direction of the scene view, the field of view, whether it's in ortho mode or in 2D mode, the camera rendering mode, the lighting, the view states, and everything. But you can also decide not to do so. So for example, you may say this top shaded mode, for example, here, then this is going to override everything but the position, which allows me to say that I can be anywhere and then switch to a this mode here, top shaded mode, and then this top shaded mode is then going to be available anywhere. So I can then switch back to perspective, then switch back to top shaded without moving. So these are things that you can also change. You will also decide that it's not going to override the layer visibility or the layer locked states and things like that. Then you can also change the random mode if you want to switch to a wireframe or any other of the random modes. You can change the states, whether the lighting is on, the grid, and the gizmos, and the layer visibilities as well as the locked states. That's pretty much it for the bookmarks editor. Right now, you can also save everything to disk. So that's the currently this is being saved in a JSON file right in the assets. It's part of the future improvements that I want to move this to the project settings and to the editor settings so that it's easier to manage and to just go and edit this from the project settings. So that's pretty much it for the whole thing. And there's just another thing that I also wanted to touch on this is that once I was done with this, then I realized that I wasn't the only one actually to be willing to use a custom right-click menu in the scene view. And so what would happen if someone else wanted to use this? Then at some point we would have to agree on using different shortcuts and things like that. And that it was maybe about time that we have a special menu in the scene view that allows us to add different menus to. And so this is how I actually come up with this pie menu, which allows me to then bring up this menu, but also other menus such as CineMachine cameras or audio and rendering options and things like this. But this will be the topic of another video. So it's another reason for you to subscribe to the channel and make sure that you enable the notifications to learn about this pie menu that I'm also working on. And until then, if you like this extension, then please do like the video, and so that allows me to know actually if how many people do like this, and also feel free to comment the video with things that you would like me to add to this menu or ideas that this brings. And I'll post the link to the repo so that you can easily install this through the package manager inside of Unity. It comes as a package. I need to stress that this is not part of my job at Unity Technologies, and that this is in no mean supported as part of Unity editor. But feel free to reach out and post comments in the video, and please do like the video if you want to see more of these. So until then, thanks for watching.